Salutations readers, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkechi and this is my TBR for the Full Moon Readathon 2025. Now, if you're not sure what this readathon is, I will link in the video description down below Jan from Jan Agaton's announcement video. She is the host and creator of this readathon. I think this is the fourth round. I think this started in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I don't even remember the year. But I do know is that I've been participating every single year since. And if you just want like a bare bones idea on what this readathon is, this is basically a readathon that's inspired by the Full Moon Book Club that is also hosted by Jan. That was also in honor of like the full moon. For this readathon, the idea, at least initially, was to spend like 13 days-ish to like kind of like follow some prompts as for particular characters, some like creepy Halloween-y kind of like characters. You're trying to collect as many of those characters as you possibly can, and yeah, it's mostly just a vibe. I like to just participate in this readathon just for the vibe of it all. So unfortunately for this year, it is not going to be 13 days long. It is actually going to be 8 days long. So it is from August 13th to August 20th. I don't think there'll be any public sprints or anything like that for this readathon, but I will try, hopefully, we'll try to host some sprints during the readathon if y'all want a public space to read books for this readathon, if you are interested. Now, I will have a graphic right here to the side of me as far as like the main graphic for all the characters and the prompts. There are like 8 reading prompts and there's like 4 activity prompts. So for me, I'm honestly am going to do the Full Moon Readathon a little bit differently just for myself because I am in a very bad reading slump. So I'm only trying to really finish reading one book for this readathon. Now, is it going to fulfill any of these prompts? I have no idea. They kind of do for some prompts, but not for all of them. So we shall see what characters I'm able to collect. But let's just get right into the books I hope to read. Now, am I going to read all these? No. The goal is just to read one of these books. Now, if any of these books going to fulfill a prompt, I have no idea. But we shall see. One of them is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. That is, actually does not have an author name. We do not know who the author is for this poem, actually. If I understand correctly, this says here, at least according to the back of the book, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is one of the earliest great stories of English literature after Beowulf. So it's like that old. If you're familiar with Beowulf, it is that old. Now, this particular edition that I have here is translated by Simon Armitage, and this story actually, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, was inspired a film adaptation called The Green Knight that came out, I think a few years ago. And I did watch the movie this year, and I've been curious about the poem ever since, which is why now I purchased a physical copy so I can read it myself. Now, the one thing I really like about this particular edition of this poem is that on the left side of the page, it actually does provide the original text, and on the right side is the English translation. So it gives me a little sense of like, oh, what the original poem read like. It also gave a little bit of context as well for this poem, if any of y'all are curious. So yeah, honestly, I just kind of picked this up because I was just genuinely curious about it. And I'm not totally sure what the original language is. I don't know. It's either Old English or Middle English. I have no idea. Next up, I do have Notes of a Crocodile by Xu Miaojin. This is translated by Bonnie Hu. I know that this is originally written, and I think I don't really know what the original language is, but I just know that this is actually considered as a modern classic in Taiwan. And this is a coming-of-age story that's following a lesbian. So yeah, I think this is one of like the first works or earliest works of like queer fiction in Taiwan. I have actually been very curious about this since, I don't know, for the past like few years. I think I've seen it around mostly on Bookstagram. I haven't seen much of this book elsewhere besides Bookstagram, but I don't know, I've heard pretty good things about it, and I've been very curious about it ever since. So yeah, we shall see. Next up, I have Devil on the Cross. I don't actually know how to pronounce the author's name, so I'm not going to quite try, but maybe I can try. Actually, no, I'm not going to try the first name, the first name. I'll try the last name. Thiong'o? I think that's how you pronounce the last name. I'm not sure. I'm going to definitely have to research on how to pronounce the author's full name. This book I actually got on my radar because of Leslie from Books, Girls, and Purrs. She's actually more familiar with this author than I am. All I know is that this author is Kenyan and actually translated this book himself. It was originally written in his native language, and then he translated it. So that's actually, I found very fascinating. But the most fascinating thing about this book that I only barely know of, actually, is that it was originally written in a time when the author was arrested, actually, and he wrote it on toilet paper while he was in prison. That is so fascinating to me. Like, he had a story in him that he had to write down, and he didn't have access to like paper and pen or pencil, whatever, just to write down the story properly. So he had to use toilet paper to write it all down. That is so fascinating. Like, I had to pick it up. Do I know much on the actual, what the book is actually about? No, I know nothing about that. All I know is the fact that he tried to write this story on toilet paper. That's all I cared about. And then I purchased a copy. I think I purchased it last summer when I went to, when I went to McNally Jackson Independent Bookstore in New York. So that's all I really know about it. Now, the next two books on my hopefuls are more chunkier books. And I'm pretty excited, though, to read either one of them. Hopefully, I'll be in the mood to read them during the readathon, but we shall see. One of them, though, is The Odyssey by Homer, and this is the Emily Wilson translation. I'm mostly just interested in reading this epic poem because of Epic the Musical, all right? It's literally because of the musical. Otherwise, I won't even touch The Odyssey, but now that I've listened to the musical, like, multiple times, I'm so fascinated by the original story now, and also now that I know that the creator of Epic the Musical, Jorge, he's actually working on an Iliad version now, and I'm like, oh, wow. So I guess I'm going to have to read Iliad now, right? I guess so. But right now, let's start with The Odyssey, okay? This is long, y'all, okay? It's an epic poem, tale of Odysseus' journey from Troy back to Ithaca, and all chaos ensues, basically. Child. But all I know is that I really want to read it. Hopefully I'll read it during the readathon, or at least start reading it, since I am, like, generally familiar with how the story's going to go. I know that the musical has changed some things, maybe not include things that was originally happened in the poem. So there is room for me to be surprised by what's going to go down here. Now, last, but certainly not least, the last book I have here on my hopefuls is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, originally written in French and translated by Robin Buss. This book is a chunker, okay? This Penguin Class Edition is 1,243 pages. But I gotta say, I'm really excited actually to even start reading this one, because my mom read it, like, I think in June. She read it via audio. She read that thing in a week, y'all. She read that thing quick. And at this point, I'm like, you read that thing in a week? I went to the bookstore, purchased my own copy, and here we are. Like, I gotta read this. And I've seen other people, at least on BookTube, who have read it. They've also really enjoyed it. I'm very curious to see where I'm gonna land with this one as well. I'm hoping to enjoy it. At least hoping to get through it. I don't know how quickly I'll get through it, though. That's the thing. It might take me more than a week to read it, but if I start reading it early August, maybe by the time that the readathon is over, I finish it. Maybe, I don't know. We shall see. But if I were to read this, I'm definitely gonna start like early August to read this, because this is a chunker. I hope that for this readathon, I will finish reading at least one of these books. More than one, that might be more of a pipe dream, but let's actually just say one. I'm gonna hopefully read one of these books. Maybe Count of Monte Cristo, but that's gonna take me an all-month endeavor for that one. We'll see about the other ones, maybe the shorter ones, maybe even The Odyssey. Maybe I can get that one pretty quickly. We shall see. But again, they're all classics, they're all translated, and I've been wanting to read more translated fiction. So I was like, well, okay, let's start with the ones I already own, the translated classics. Well, that is all that I have for y'all today. Are any of y'all participating in this readathon? Have y'all heard of it? If you have heard of any, you plan on participating, what will be in your TBR or hopefuls? What do you hope to read in the month of August or during this readathon? Whichever one, whether you're participating in this readathon or not. But yeah, thank you, Jan, for hosting another round of the Full Moon Readathon. I'm always here for the vibe. It's the only readathon I really participate in August. So it is nice to know that despite that this readathon, is it's pretty overwhelming to do it for 13 days. I'm still glad we still have the readathon, even if it's shorter. Are there actually any of these books here that y'all want me to read sooner? I mean, I won't be surprised for some of y'all if y'all choose The Count of Monte Cristo. If it is, let me know in the comments. But are any of these classics y'all more excited for me to pick up? Maybe I'll go by y'all's recommendation as far as which one I should pick up more. But that's it, y'all. That's it. That's all I have for y'all. Thank you all for watching. Like the video if you like it. Comment down below any of y'all's thoughts. Subscribe if you're new here and you like my vibe. Now, if you made it this far into the video, you're not sure what to say, But you want to leave me an emoji to let me know you're here. I don't know, give me some sort of sword emoji. Yeah, I think a sword emoji in honor of like the Odyssey, Sir Gawain the Green Knight, and the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know, those are books that I just envision having a sword. Anyways, thank you all again for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye!